Inside the dark computer chassis, glowing red LED strips flashed relentlessly, signaling an impending thermal disaster. Massive dust bunnies carrying scorching heat rolled across the heat sink crevices like a desert tornado. A blistering hot wind howled, blowing everything across the motherboard. Captain Moon stood firm on the ram slot, waving his starlight baton to sound the emergency alarm. The muscle-bound giant immediately charged forward, using his excavator bucket to block the blazing debris, while Wisdom the spider swiftly sprayed webs to secure the wildly flapping cables. Wise the monkey flipped through the air trying to catch the flying dust, but was blown backward by the gale. The clumsy intern capacitor ran in a panic, tripped over, and had to be bravely dragged into the wind shadow by Bite Dog biting his pants. Right in the eye of the storm, the temperature spiked to 95 degrees Celsius, causing Smart's pristine white plastic armor to dangerously soften. To make matters worse, Little Genius's jet boots spewed black smoke, making him lose control and free fall toward the red-hot floor. Without a second thought, Smart dashed out to catch Genius, curling her body and using her fragile back to shield the crystal boy from a massive, flaming dust bunny hurtling right at them. In that life-or-death moment, the grinding screech of metal tank treads echoed through the storm. Giant crashed onto the scene like a tank, slamming his bucket into the floor as an anchor and using his massive body to take the explosive, fiery impact. The raging storm roared, turning Giant's heavy steel armor glowing red. Suddenly, his chest plates opened, revealing an energy core spinning and radiating a blinding sapphire light. A breathtaking plasma force field slowly bloomed, forming a giant energy umbrella that enveloped all three of them. Inside the dome, the deadly heat instantly vanished, replaced by a soothing blue ambient light. Smart's armor hardened back to normal, and Little Genius opened his electronic eyes, looking up at his big brother Giant with absolute awe and overwhelming emotion. Smart gently touched Giant's leg in gratitude, and the heavy lifter responded with a cool, metallic wink. Outside, Capacitor spotted the safe zone and sprinted for his life, but failing to break, he splatted face first against the plasma wall, slowly sliding down with his googly eyes completely crooked. Giant let out a soft sigh and opened a small portal to pull the dizzy kid and Bite Dog inside, just before Moon, Wise, and Wisdom swung in on spiderwebs to regroup. Though the team was safe, Giant's energy was draining fast, his mechanical joints venting smoke under the extreme strain. Smart quickly calculated the storm would pass in 30 seconds. Thinking fast, Genius plugged his tiny USB arm into Giant's back, transferring his last bit of backup power to reignite the fatal dome. The force field braced itself, absorbing the storm's final explosive strike before the scorching wind finally died down. The storm had passed, and Moon's radar shifted to a safe, calm green. Giant deactivated the shield and dropped to one knee, letting out a heavy sigh of relief into the supportive arms of his teammates. However, the storm had left the motherboard an absolute mess of black ash and scorch marks. Moon immediately waved his baton, initiating a total cleanup protocol with zero tolerance for dust. Regaining his strength, Giant fired up his heavy-duty vacuum, plowing a long path that swallowed the black soot and left the floor mirror-shiny. Smart gracefully roller-skated through narrow gaps, her fiber-optic duster sweeping the microchips spotlessly clean. Wise swung from the cables, wiping scorch marks with an alcohol-soaked sponge, while Bite Dog happily leaped to catch the dust clumps dropped by a wobbly capacitor. Wisdom sprayed a layer of bright green cooling gel over the blazing hot zones, allowing Wise to glide by and peel off the dirt-trapping film in one incredibly satisfying rip. Genius hovered around, blow-drying the cleaned surfaces, while Giant used his bucket to smash a bent heatsink fan perfectly back into shape. Capacitor sneezed loudly, blowing dust everywhere, prompting Smart to playfully spray him with a sparkling, sweet-scented mist. The final hurdle was the massive cooling fan, completely jammed with stubborn debris. Giant and Capacitor pulled with all their might, Wisdom sprayed micro-lubricant, and Wise crawled deep inside to yank out clumps of dust for Bite Dog to feed into the vacuum. Cleared of blockages, the fan roared to life, generating a refreshing blue vortex that blew away the team's exhaust. The motherboard was now flawlessly clean, beautifully reflecting the safe, cool, green ambient lights. The temperature dropped to a perfect 30 degrees. Moon nodded in absolute satisfaction. Smart gently used a tiny silk cloth to polish the heroic scratches on Giant's chest, making the massive robot scratch his head in adorable shyness, while Genius affectionately rubbed his crystal cheek against Giant's shoulder. After Capacitor's comical slip and fall, the squad packed up their gear and marched proudly through a blue mist toward the sparkling neon outro stage. Under the brilliant spotlights, Moon elegantly removed his pilot helmet and took a gentlemanly bow. Giant and Wisdom pushed out a crystal cube containing a giant like button, which Smart tapped as she glided past, making it glow in radiant rainbow colors. From above, Wise dropped upside down to unfurl a bright red subscribe plaque for Capacitor to hug and plead with the audience. Genius sprayed a silver mist that condensed into a hovering notification bell, giving Bite Dog the perfect target to sprint and headbutt with his USB nose. A crisp chime rang out, triggering a spectacular digital firework display and a rain of colorful confetti. The whole squad danced happily in victory. Giant flexed his proud muscles, Smart blew a glowing kiss, Wisdom formed a star shape with his legs, and Capacitor adorably missed every piece of confetti he tried to catch. As the camera dollied out, the heavy steel cleaning squad logo crashed down onto the stage with an icy blue glow, displaying a warm, "Thanks for watching" message. The stage lights began to narrow, and the team waved goodbye as they stepped back into the shadows, with Giant protectively ushering Smart and Genius into the dark first, followed by Moon's sharp military salute. In the final pitch-black moment, the good boy Bite Dog poked his head out, tossed one last piece of trash into the bin, wagged his tail enthusiastically, and let his USB nose blink into a soft blue sleep mode before the screen closed completely.